live in the Village as we head into the busiest week of Pride Month with the parade this Sunday, but there is an alternative to the Pride Parade. This in response to the issue of Pride Toronto versus the Toronto Police. It is called the Unity Festival. CTV's Natalie Johnson joins us now live. She's in Winchester Park where it's going to be held. Natalie, so the issue is officers in uniform banned from Pride. Will officers be in uniform at this alternate event?
Well, that was the original plan, Ken. The organizers' intent, at least, it was one of the main points of this event. In Toronto, officers do require the permission of the chief to wear their uniforms outside of active duty, and we learned today that they do not have the chief's permission to wear them at this event.
Yeah, this park is huge. I mean, we've been very lucky that this has been available. I mean, you can certainly see there's room for a lot of tents, a lot of music, a lot of DJs.
Bryn Hendricks is counting down the days to the First Responders Unity Festival, an alternative to Pride for police officers who are not welcome to participate in uniform in this year's parade.
They don't stop becoming a police officer when they're off shift. I mean, you know, it really becomes integral to who you are, and particularly for people who are putting their lives on the line.
But late today, Hendricks learned that the chief was not granting his officers permission to wear their uniforms to the First Responders event, despite telling them they could wear their uniforms to the New York City Pride Parade.
But I think it's a little bit unfair to say that officers would not be allowed to participate in their own city in uniform, but would be allowed to go into another country.
He has high-profile support in the mayor, who will attend after marching in Pride.
I support our police and our other first responders unequivocally. I think you know that. I also support Pride unequivocally.
Premier Kathleen Wynne and NDP leader Andrea Horwath have not committed, but PC leader Patrick Brown will kick off the festival with opening remarks.
And I thought it was unfortunate at Toronto Pride that we're going to be having an event that celebrates inclusion by excluding a group.
The grass is going to be cut very shortly. We have Parks and Forests that's going to be coming in and making sure this park is nice and clean and ready for us this coming Sunday.
Hendricks, meanwhile, is trying to stay optimistic and hopes the chief will change his mind.
Definitely was the point of try to create that space for them to be there in uniform and to be inclusive. I think that the police chief might need to just rethink about that.
Wanting uniformed police to be able to celebrate their pride at an event that is not Pride. Chief Mark Saunders will not be attending this First Responders event. His office says that Toronto Police can attend on their own time, just not in uniform. Reporting live, I'm Natalie Johnson. Ken and Zoraida, over to you.
They are hearing tonight from the Chief of Police on his decision to ban his officers from wearing their uniforms at an alternative Pride event.
We first told you about this story last night at 6. Today, Mark Saunders explained his position. CTV's Austin Delaney is live at police headquarters with that. Austin.
You know, holding an alternative Pride event where officers could wear their uniforms could be seen as stirring the pot a little bit when the chief is really trying to mend relations with the Pride Committee, possibly in the hopes of having his officers invited back as early as next year. Chief Saunders says he's keeping the big picture in mind.
People have used the parade as a polarizing point.
And he doesn't want to fall into the trap. Instead, he sees the First Responders Unity Festival as a roadblock to mending relations with the LGBTQ community after uniformed police were uninvited to Toronto's Pride Parade.
This event is a reactive event in light of the fact that our officers aren't going this year. When I'm looking at the big picture, which is not to divide but to align, I think that we have to be very careful to ensure that we stay focused on what we want to accomplish at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the chief believes allowing his officers to wear their uniforms at the Unity Festival, which is scheduled to be held here next Sunday at Winchester Park, and to coincide with the Pride Parade, would do more harm than good in the community.
It's not so much reactive as it's a way of trying to heal and trying to start to mend fences in a way that is not contradicting with Pride. We don't want to go up against them. We don't want to cause any conflict with them.
If this is something that was going on year after year after year, then chances are I'd have a different answer. But this is more reactive, and again, I think it's right now it's a bit of a distraction.
Getting invited back to the Toronto Pride Parade should be the focus, says the head of the Toronto Police Association.
The way I see it is I'm not looking for an alternative event. We should be part of the parade, so let's be part of the parade. We're not saying, okay, let's go find our own events. No way. We need to be part of that. That's what inclusiveness should be.
Toronto Police will march in uniform in New York City's Pride Parade this weekend. The chief saying only because it is established and not an event in reaction to Toronto Pride's position. Chief Saunders saying today he will not be attending the Unity Festival nor the Pride Parade this year. He does say that his officers are welcome to go to either event, but just not in uniform. Asked, though, if any of them did show up in uniform, would there be any sanctions, any penalties? The chief responded that he wasn't ready to go there just yet. Reporting live, I'm Austin Delaney.